Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. We're talking June favorites, and I've got some really fun beauty things and then some really non-beauty things that are kind of random, but I'm obsessed with them. So we'll start with my makeup. So the first thing I have is an eyeshadow palette. I have been really loving my LORAC Pro Palette. I have been playing with it a lot over the past month. Excuse the broken glass. It's kind of sad I dropped it one day. And now that I've been playing with it so much, I can understand why so many people did this as their Pan That Palette challenge last year. I pulled it back out because I was looking for another cream after I was done panning my NYX Vixen shadow. I then moved on to like a little sample shadow that I had that I used up, and I was looking for a cream, and I pulled this out and I was looking at it and I was like, man, these colors are just so pretty. Like, I forgot about how much I like them. I've been really loving the mauve color, which is just this like pinky brownish sort of tone, along with champagne and nude. All of these colors have been like go-to eye looks for me. I've been doing the mauve in my crease lot like I have today, and then I've rather been doing like nude or champagne as my lid color, and along with some cream. It's just a really awesome palette. I'm liking it a lot, and it just is beautiful. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for like a neutral palette. This would be a really good option. I think it has a cult following for a reason. The shadows are, not super powdery. They blend really easily. So a big fan of this. I've also been loving my Maybelline The Blush Nudes palette. This is not the first time I've included it in a favorites video, but this palette just really works for me. I know it doesn't always have like the best reputation. People don't love it because it's not like the most pigmented ever. I think because I have such a light complexion, these colors really do show up on my skin tone pretty bright and heavily. And one shade in particular I want to draw your attention to that I'm a big fan of is this right here. I've been using it as a crease color, and I really like it. I think it's really pretty. It blends easily. All around, to me, a good wearable palette, and I'm really happy that I have it, despite its sometimes negative reviews. I also have two eyeliners. It's just like a tie. I can't pick just one. I have really been sort of rotating through my different eyeliners. I think I'm down to 10 eyeliners, which for me, for like felt tip and like liquid, that kind of category, is the fewest I've had in a number of years, and I've just been enjoying it, getting a different variety, reconnecting with them, and there were two in particular that I really liked. The first is the Clio Kill Black Waterproof Pen Liner. This might be the finest felt tip pen I have ever used. It is such like an easy to use sort of pen. You can get so close to your lash line, it's not even funny. So I like this one a lot. And then I've also been loving my Starlooks Pro Luxe Longwear Eyeliner Pen. This is, again, on the thinner side, but typical of more of the felt pens that I have. And again, like super easy to use. I really like both of these. I think I get really nice looks with both of them. They're long lasting, they're smudge proof. This came in like a special Birchbox, and then this one came in a BoxyCharm, so I would not have ordinarily picked these up, but I'm really happy that I have them in my collection, and I've been really pleased with them overall. The last two like beauty-ish items that I have are actually lip balms. I have been obsessed with lip balms. I could probably do a whole video for you guys, which probably sounds ridiculous, of my lip balms that I've been loving right now. But to preface this, it's because I have one night balm. I have one lip balm on my nightstand. I have one that I use while I'm getting ready in the morning for my makeup. I keep two in my car, one at my desk at school, one in any of my jacket pockets. So I'm always constantly using a lot of chapstick, and because I keep them in set places, I don't ever lose them, which is why a lot of you guys actually see me showing you in my trash videos a lot of different chapsticks, because they just don't get lost, which I personally think is very impressive. Before I had this system, I would lose chapsticks constantly. I have two actually from Nivea that I have been obsessed with. The first is the Nivea Lip Balm Vanilla and Macadamia Kiss. This is not how I typically like lip balms. I prefer to have them in tubes, but I pulled this out to put on my beauty vanity, and I really like it. I like the smell of it. It has that, vanilla nut scent, which I kind of really enjoy. It has a nice texture. It's not like super Vaseline-y. Like, it's just really, really nice. I pulled this out because one of my friends on here, Lorraine, she's actually panning this in one of her projects, and she's having a hard time with it. So I thought, like, oh, I'll pull it out and, like, see how easy, like, you can make progress on it, and you can't. I've been using it for probably the entire month, and you can see, like, a little dip in the middle, but not much progress at all on here, so I'm going to have this for a very long time, but it's okay because I really like it. The other one that I have that I've been obsessed with is a Kiss of Olive Oil and Lemon. It's a moisture-rich lip care, again from Nivea, but it's in a little tube, which I like a lot. This, to me, like, has a clear lemon scent. I don't really know what olive oil smells like. I don't think it ever has, like, a pronounced scent for me, but loving this a lot. It's super moisturizing. This is like my bedtime chapstick, but I may actually move it to my summer camp backpack, but I may want one with SPF. There's no SPF in this, so we'll see how my lips do when summertime first starts, but loving this as well. My two non-beauty favorites are, again, kind of random. The first is my candle warmer. I picked this up a long time ago, and I hadn't really used it. I tried using it once after I had finished burning the wicks in a candle, but it didn't produce any scent, so I had figured, like, well, I probably waited too long, like the wicks took all the scent out, like the candle's done. So it wasn't until my current candle, which is my white tea and ginger, I've been burning it for a long time, it experienced puny wick syndrome, and it drove me nuts because it wasn't producing a very strong scent, which was devastating because I love that candle. I love the scent of it. So I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I was like, well, I don't wanna keep lighting it. Like, what should I do about it? And then I came across this again, and I thought, like, oh, this might be a good time to try my candle warmer. Oh my God, this thing is the best. The only real, like, issue that I have with it is that because I'm not a very patient person and I am accustomed to lighting a candle and then within 15 minutes getting a scent, it takes a long time for scent to come out of this because I have about, like, I want to say, like, this much wax left in my candle. So for you to be able to get scent off of a wax melter, candle burner, whatever this thing is called, it has to melt all of the wax. So that may be obvious to a lot of you in the crowd, but it wasn't obvious to me because I'd never used one of these before. So that's the only con, but let me tell you, I have been using this for probably like 2 weeks with that white tea and ginger candle, and every time I turn it on, I feel like I say to myself, this is gonna be the last time. I'm not gonna get any scent out of the candle anymore, and it has prolonged the life of the candle exponentially. Like, I do not know when my candle is going to stop having scent, but I'm really enjoying it, and it is no longer infuriating to me because I know, all right, half an hour, 40 minutes from now, once all that wax is melted, I'll be able to get a really nice scent out of it. If you guys have any tips, like, should I be dumping this wax out or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below because I'm really not well versed on this. But for the $5 I spent on this, I think it's really awesome and a nice alternative to the problem I have with puny wicks, which is happening more and more frequently as I've been burning my little heart out with all the candles that I've amassed recently. The last item that I have is a book, and I'm so glad it is summertime for me. I had my last day of school today because I don't get to read very much during the school year. It's rare. I'll maybe read like 10 or 12 books over the course of the school year, which is devastating for me because I love to read. I just don't have any time between teaching at any given time 2 or 3 texts in class and then being a graduate student. I'm doing a lot of reading and none of it really is of my choice. Even though, yes, I've been teaching some of these books for 4 years, I still read them with my students. And that takes up a lot of time, a lot of reading energy. I don't get to sit down very often and just read. So I was given Girl on a Train by Paula Hawkins from my mother way back in like October. She was like, hey, heard this book is good. You should give it a try. She hadn't had a chance to read it yet. And I was like, yeah, sure. And it has sat and sat and sat on my shelf. Well, finally, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe at this point, my girlfriend and I went to go see Me Before You. Whoa, amazing movie, sad movie, but I loved it. That's also a favorite. Go watch the movie if you haven't. I also ordered that book so I could read it. I don't care that I already know the ending. The book is probably going to be 1,000 times more feels, and I want them. I want all those feels. But when we were there, there was a preview for this movie. Apparently it's a rendition of, apparently they've turned the book into a movie, which I didn't know. And the preview was not very inspiring, personally. It was very confusing, and I didn't really get what the book was about. But I mentioned to my girlfriend, I was like, hey, I've got that book at home. We should look at it when we get back to our, like my apartment, because she was down for the weekend. And I looked at it, and I read the description of it, and I was like, that doesn't tell me a lot either. So between the preview and the jacket, I wasn't super sure what this book was about. So I picked it up, started reading it. It's great. I am not done. I'm to where this little book flap is sitting. I use that as my bookmark. It has so many things that I like. It has multiple points of view. So I've got 3 different narrators. I've got 2 different timelines to keep track of, which I like. It's a thriller, which I have a love-hate relationship with, because I don't like not knowing. I'm resisting the urge to look up the ending because I know it's going to ruin things for me. But I also like it because it's exciting. And it also is interesting to me because the main, out of the 3 points of view, there's one that's kind of like the main character. Her name's Rachel. Out of her point of view, I don't like her. I have never actively disliked a protagonist in a story. Like, I've been like, yeah, they're not my favorite. But to actively dislike someone, Rachel, the character, is so far removed from me as a human being. She like doesn't make good life choices. She can't get her life together. She's an alcoholic. Like, I don't have patience for a lot of that. So she aggravates the bejesus out of me. But I really like the book regardless of that. I like being challenged in that respect. It gives me, you know, a different perspective of someone who's so vastly different from me that I also disagree with. So I like it a lot. The premise of this, in case you're like me and you didn't really know a lot about it, maybe I'm the last person on earth, but Girl on Train is about a woman named Rachel who rides the train to and from her job, and she has a very checkered past. Her marriage fell apart. She's not in a good place, and she becomes obsessed with this couple who she like gets glimpses of as the train passes every day. And the story at first is told just in the segments of her riding to the train and her coming home. You don't get any sort of detail in between, like what her workday was like what happened at night. Like, it's just all very segmented, short little snippets, which I've never read before, and I liked that. Well, ultimately, this woman who she like comes up with like her own character for these people. She doesn't even know them, but she has like a whole storyline for them and whatever. She's very attached to them. The woman gets killed, and she becomes consumed with the murder and how it happens and the intimate details, and she becomes overly involved in something that she should never be involved with. And it's very interesting because that night the woman was murdered. She was drunk, and Rachel got off the train at the stop to get to this woman's house, and she blacks out. She has no memory of what happened, so she's trying to figure out throughout most of the book if she in fact played a hand in murdering this girl, or what happened to this girl. Does she know information that she just can't remember? Super interesting. I really like it. Again, I don't know the ending, so if you've read this book, don't leave any spoilers down below because I don't want it to be ruined for me. I have worked aggressively hard to not look up the ending, even though it's killing me, so I keep reading it more and more. Big fan of this. I'm so happy this is like my first summer book. I've got a pretty healthy stack of summer books that I would like to get through this summer, but if you have any recommendations, some of the ones that I have on my list are Miss Pettigrew's Home for Peculiar Children, Me Before You, the Tina Fey memoir. Like, I've just got a variety of books. Let me know down below in the comments any recommendations for you, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. And that's it for me. Bye.